Next on Worcester News tonight, the tax rate in Worcester drawing debate from city council members. More from tonight's discussion at City Hall. Plus, a local church speaking out as parishioners work to save Our Lady of Mount Carmel. We'll have more on what they're saying. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Catherine Andrioli. More on those stories in a moment, but tonight we begin with new charges in a more than 25-year-old armed robbery and murder case. Worcester County District Attorney Joseph Early Jr. announced today Ralph DeMazy is being charged in the shooting death of an armored truck guard. It happened at Worcester Supermarket on Lincoln Street in 1991. DeMazy is now 80 years old. Worcester Police Chief Stephen Sargent says the department has done a lot of work leading up to his arrest.
Well, 25 years ago, we had the armored car robbery murder, and the Worcester Police Department, the Mass State Police, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have done a tremendous job working with the District Attorney's Office to hopefully find some closure for the family.
DeMazy will be arraigned in Worcester Superior Court Wednesday morning. A press conference is also scheduled to give more information on DeMazy's arrest tomorrow. And the victim was Edward Morlock, Sr. of Athol. His widow still lives there and tells us Morlock wasn't supposed to be working on the armored car the day he was shot. She says the arrest of his killer is bringing up mixed emotions.
I'm happy, but yet it's sad because it's Christmas, and it's like going back in memories, and those were very painful times for me.
And we stay on this story. We will also give you new details as they emerge. But tonight, a city council vote on tax rates is postponed to next week. The issue has drawn debate from business owners in the community and also members of the community itself. The city sets separate tax rates for homeowners and for businesses. Taxing businesses more than households, community members and businesses have been at odds about the fairness of the tax rate. Tonight, City Councilor Christian King tells us the city needs to keep its dual tax rate, saying it's not something that can be changed overnight.
I really think that, that's something that needs to happen over time, but particularly today, I really want to err on the side of the homeowner. That's something I ran on, and it's kind of where I'm at right now.
And again, the vote on Worcester's tax rate was postponed tonight. As city councilors want to look at new numbers, it will be voted on again next week during a city council hearing. In Worcester, there are more than two sides of the tax issue, unlike most of its surrounding towns. The city sets separate rates for homeowners and business owners. It has neighborhood groups and the business community at odds, with a renewed push to change the system. Our Andy Madison has more on what's driving the tax debate.
The owners at Dead Horse Hill have been open for business in the city for less than a year.
It's been really great. A lot of regulars so far.
They have customers to feed, food to stock up on, and bills to pay.
In place of sales tax, they do a meals tax. And then there's employee taxes and all those kind of things.
In Worcester, the city's dual tax rate has been a sticking point for years. Businesses pay a higher rate than residents, and some feel it should change.
It'd be nice if we had created a plan, whether it took 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, to work towards getting back to a single tax rate.
Since the 1980s, there's been a commercial tax rate and a separate residential rate in Worcester. And for years, the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce has been working on lowering the commercial rate. According to the chamber, it's almost double what the rate is in several nearby towns.
We have countless stories of businesses that have grown and expanded outside of the city or didn't come here to begin with because they could have a lot of the amenities that the city provides, but have a lower tax rate in some of the communities outside of the city.
The city has offered tax breaks to certain businesses in an effort to offset the cost. But Tim Murray says lowering the rate would help medium and smaller businesses. The owners at Dead Horse Hill say taxes didn't stop them from setting up shop in the city.
We understand that we do pay, a good amount of taxes, and we don't have any complaints as far as how those are being allocated.
Andy Madison, Worcester News Tonight.
Parishioners of Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church in Worcester are speaking out. So far, more than 100 have signed a petition asking the city to stop plans to create a historic district around the church. This all coming after some church members' efforts to prevent demolition by the city due to its structural and safety concerns. The church's pastor says they have struggled to raise funds to make much-needed renovations to the church, forcing them to close its doors and move services to a different location. The church's pastor says the situation has become difficult for parishioners, and he's hoping they can find a solution.
Used to repair the building really came from parish funds, which we've exhausted, and then a diocesan loan was an emergency loan we were able to obtain, because now we're under an order from the Worcester Historical Commission, so we're trying to make the front of the building safe. And so one of the things they did was to protest or petition or oppose our petition to take down the building before the Worcester Historical Commission.
And the City Council has postponed the hearing for the church's demolition to next week. This is the second time the issue has been postponed during a City Council meeting. Two of the people charged in connection to the theft of 16 weapons from the U.S. Army Reserve Center in Worcester last year pleaded guilty to firearms charges in federal court Tuesday. Tyrone James and Ashley Bigsby entered guilty pleas in the case. The two were accused of helping James Morales, a former Army reservist, sell some of the stolen weapons after they stole them. The two were charged with conspiracy to sell stolen weapons, possession of stolen firearms, and making false statements in connection to the November 2015 case. Bigsby could be sentenced to a maximum of 20 years in prison. She will be sentenced March 15th. James will be sentenced the next day. Morales' case was continued to a later date. The Worcester Public Schools are working to make sure all the city's high school seniors have an opportunity to attend college. The district joined a statewide campaign, and as our Rosalind Flaherty tells us, some students are already seeing positive results.
A smile and celebration for high school seniors at North High Tuesday.
Every kid knows that they can go to college, and we make that first step for them, and then we continue to support them along the way.
Every Worcester Public High School will participate in the Massachusetts College Application Celebration Initiative. The goal is for all 1,600 seniors to submit at least one college application.
Great day to celebrate and to provide this opportunity for every single senior.
Qualified students will also have the opportunity to receive on-the-spot acceptances. North High senior Amisida Chaparro applied to Rhode Island College earlier in the day on Tuesday and got an on-the-spot acceptance the same day.
Awesome, because I didn't even know it was going to happen. They just told me go to the computer lab real quick, and I was already accepted in like 10 minutes. So it's nice not having to do all the paperwork on the computer.
Chaparro wants to major in nursing and will be the first in her family to go to a 4-year college.
My mom is sick. She has like diabetes and she has high blood pressure. She has a little bit of everything. And she doesn't speak English, so I'm always her translator. And I would always go to the doctor's visit, and I would see like that's what I want.
According to Worcester Public Schools, almost 56% of the district's seniors who graduated in 2015 went to a 2- or 4-year college by the fall. Superintendent Maureen Beninda says they want to raise the expectation for students to know everyone has the opportunity.
To have that conversation always about college and future and why it's important to come to school, it's important to be involved in your community, it's important to get good grades, to tie that package up.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
The city manager announced this week Worcester Fire Chief Jeffrey Gardell is retiring after more than 30 years with the department. Gardell became chief in the summer of 2015. He promised the city he would only serve for 12 to 18 months. Our Brittany Schaefer spoke with the chief today and has more.
The 18 months that I planned is up, and I'm moving on.
After more than 3 decades with the Worcester Fire Department, Chief Jeffrey Gardell is retiring. He became chief in May of 2015 and promised the city he would stay for 12 to 18 months.
A lot of congratulations, great career, you're doing the right thing. Get out while you're healthy. Some of the other things are don't leave, stay for us longer, please don't go.
He's been a great friend for all of these years. We've been coming up the ranks together for the last 30 years.
Gardell says as chief, he's helped add more engines, increase staffing levels, and push to get firefighters a second set of gear to keep them healthy.
Looking at cancer prevention, all the studies, We're looking at buying turnout gear, second set for every firefighter in the Worcester Fire Department. That way there, once the first set gets dirty, that can be cleaned and the new set can be put on.
Creating an atmosphere where we could improve our fleet as well as improve the infrastructure of our stations.
Gardell says the next chief will be someone within the department, and the 4 candidates have already taken a written exam and gone through an assessment center evaluation.
The marks to those haven't been put into a list as of this time. The city's waiting on that. So the city manager will make his choice out of the top 3.
It's a challenging job that is not for the faint of heart.
Gardell's last day will be on January 22nd, which is exactly 33 years since he joined the department. He says he has a lot to look forward to in his retirement.
I'm pretty active. I'm still pretty healthy. I play a lot of golf. I ski. I'm gonna keep myself busy.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
A new report shows Worcester ranks right in the middle of the country's most sinful cities of 2016. Wallet Hub compared the 150 most populated U.S. cities using 27 different indicators, making them the most sinful. The data ranged from violent crimes per capita to excessive drinking. One statistic Worcester residents ranked the lowest in were charitable donations as part of their percent of their income. People we spoke with today say they find this hard to believe.
Close to here, kind of like a representative, like my shirt says Worcester on it right now to represent it, so I'd like to hope you represent in a good place out here. And I wish people would be donating more. It's kind of not being like the Grinch out here this year. No one's donating and everyone's being selfish.
I think it's a good city, a lot of good people out here. People donate. I donated to MS today. Good people out here.
Meanwhile, Providence, Rhode Island ranked number 3 in the same subcategory of least amount given to charity per average income.